I arrived 30 minutes early to Sarah's house that Tuesday evening, October 17th, 2023. I always bring dessert. That night, I'd made apple pie from scratch, Sarah's favorite since she was 6 years old. I also brought a gift, a framed photograph from last Thanksgiving. All of us around the table. Sarah, her husband Mark, the grandkids Emma and Jake. Me at the head, Tom's empty chair beside me. Everyone smiling. I'd had it professionally framed. Thought it would look nice in their dining room. I parked on the street like I always did, grabbed the pie from the passenger seat, the photo frame, walked up the driveway. The October air was cold. I should have worn a heavier jacket. The kitchen light was on. Early for them. Dinner wasn't until 7 and it was only 6:30. That's when I saw them. Through the kitchen window, Sarah and Mark, sitting at the table, not setting it for dinner, not cooking. They were counting money, cash. Stacks of it spread across the table, $20 bills, 50s, hundreds. Sarah had a notebook, writing numbers down. Mark was organizing the bills into piles, methodical, efficient, like they'd done this before. I stood there on the walkway, frozen, the pie heavy in my hands, the photo frame pressed against my chest. That's my money, I thought, from my safe. I recognized the rubber bands, the ones I used to organize the bills, 50s in one stack, hundreds in another. I'm meticulous about that, always have been. 38 years teaching elementary school will do that to you. 3 weeks ago, Sarah asked for my safe combination. Just in case, Mom, she'd said. Emergencies. What if something happened and I needed help? Made sense at the time. She's my daughter, my only child. After Tom died 5 years ago, she's all I have left. I gave her the combination, wrote it down on a slip of paper, told her where I keep the emergency folder, the insurance papers, the will. She'd hugged me, thanked me, said it gave her peace of mind knowing she could help if I needed it. Now she was sitting at her kitchen table, counting my money, my husband's life insurance, my savings, $47,000 I keep in that safe because I don't trust banks with everything. Tom taught me that. Keep some liquid, Helen, just in case. I watched them for maybe a minute, maybe longer. I couldn't move. Sarah's lips were moving, talking to Mark. He nodded, wrote something in the notebook. They looked calm, casual, like this was routine, like my home was theirs to take from. The kitchen window framed them perfectly, warm light, domestic scene. My daughter and her husband, except they weren't cooking dinner. They were dividing up my cash. How much did they take? That was my first thought. Then, how long has this been happening? I backed away slowly. Down the driveway, the pie still in my hands, the photo frame tucked under my arm. I got to my car, sat in the driver's seat. My hands were shaking, couldn't get the key in the ignition. Had to stop, breathe, try again. My phone buzzed. Text from Sarah. Mom, you almost here. Kids are excited to see you. I stared at the message, at the little heart emoji she'd added at the end. My fingers moved before I could think. Not feeling well. Won't make it tonight. Sorry. 3 dots appeared immediately. She was typing. I didn't wait to see her response. Started the car, pulled away from the curb, drove home with one thought looping in my mind. I need to check my safe. I've lived alone for 5 years now. Tom died of a heart attack when he was 63. Too young, too sudden. One morning, he was drinking coffee at our kitchen table, reading the newspaper. By afternoon, he was gone. The doctors said it was massive. He didn't suffer. That's supposed to be comforting. It isn't. We'd been married 38 years, raised Sarah together in this house, a ranch-style home in the suburbs, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, quarter-acre lot. We bought it in 1983 when Sarah was a baby, paid it off in 2010. Tom was so proud of that. Took him to the backyard, showed him the mortgage burning in the fire pit. He kept the ashes in a jar in the garage. Called it his freedom jar. 40 years in the same neighborhood. I know every family on this street. Most of us are retired now. We have book club on Fridays at the library, garden club on Tuesday mornings at the community center, coffee at the diner most Wednesday afternoons. It's a good life. Quiet. predictable, safe, or so I thought. Every morning at 7, I sit at the kitchen table with my coffee. Tom's chair is across from me. Empty now, 5 years empty. Some mornings, I still set out his mug by habit. Blue ceramic, chipped handle from when he dropped it in the sink in 2004. I can't throw it away. Can't even put it in the cupboard. It stays on the counter. Waiting, like I'm waiting. For what? I don't know anymore. I retired from teaching 2 years before Tom died. 36 years teaching 3rd grade at Lincoln Elementary. I have a pension, $3,800 a month, plus Social Security, $1,900 a month. It's comfortable. Not rich, but comfortable. I can pay my bills, take care of the house, help my family when they need it. The weekly family dinners started right after Tom died. Sarah's idea. A way to check on me, she said. Make sure I'm eating. Make sure I'm not sitting alone in the dark. Every Tuesday night at her house. 7 o'clock. In the beginning, I didn't want to go. Didn't want to leave the house. Didn't want to pretend I was okay. But Sarah insisted. She'd call every Monday to confirm. Text on Tuesday afternoon to remind me. The kids miss you, Mom. We need you there. So I went, and it became routine. I'd bring dessert. She'd cook pot roast or spaghetti or chicken. Nothing fancy, just family food. The grandkids would show me their homework, their art projects, their latest obsessions. Emma with her horse books, Jake with his dinosaur encyclopedias. It was nice. It made the house feel less empty on Tuesday afternoons when I was baking. Emma is 12 now. Jake is 9. They're good kids, sweet kids. Emma wants to be a veterinarian. Volunteers at the animal shelter on weekends. Jake loves dinosaurs, can name every period of the Mesozoic era. Corrects his teachers. They don't know anything about the money, about what their parents did. They shouldn't have to know. That's adult business. Adult failures. Over the years, I've helped Sarah and Mark financially. A lot. $28,000 for their first house down payment back in 2010. I worked summer school for 3 years to save that. Extra tutoring sessions, Saturday test prep classes. Every dollar went into a savings account marked Sarah's house. $15,000 for Sarah's real estate license and startup costs in 2012. Classes, exam fees, business cards, her first year of dues. Her father was so proud when she passed the exam on her first try, hung her license certificate in our living room before she even had an office. $12,000 when Mark's business struggled in 2019. Equipment broke down. Payroll was short. He promised he'd pay it back within 2 years. Signed a note and everything. I still have it in a drawer. I'm still waiting. $8,000 for the grandkids' private school tuition last year. St. Michael's Academy. Small classes, good teachers. I wanted them to have opportunities I never had. Total. $63,000 over 12 years. I kept a record. Teacher habit. I log everything. Every dollar I gave them is written in a notebook in my desk drawer. Dates, amounts, what it was for. I called it love. I called it investing in my family's future. Sarah called it loans she'd pay back someday. But the checks never came. The promises faded into when business picks up and when the market improves. And soon, Mom, I promise. And I never pushed. Because she's my daughter. Because I didn't want to rock the boat. Because I was afraid that asking for my money back would mean losing her. Mark's construction business got hit hard during COVID. 3 major contracts canceled overnight. 6 employees laid off. I watched him age 10 years in 6 months. The stress was visible. Dark circles under his eyes. Weight loss. His hands shook when he drank coffee. He was drowning. I felt sorry for them. I really did. The real estate market was brutal, too. Sarah's commissions dropped 60% in 18 months. Houses weren't selling. Buyers couldn't get loans. Then her brokerage let her go 4 months ago. Not enough sales to justify her desk space, they said. She didn't tell me. Too proud. I only found out later. She took an independent contractor position instead. Commission only. No salary, no benefits. I understand pride. I raised her to be independent, to stand on her own. Maybe I did too good a job. Maybe I made her too proud to ask for help when she really needed it. Every Tuesday afternoon I'd bake, apple pie usually, Sarah's favorite since she was 6 years old. Sometimes I'd make cherry pie, or a chocolate cake if the kids requested it. I'd wrap it carefully in aluminum foil. Write, "Love Grandma" on a note card. Tape it to the top. Imagine Sarah's smile when she unwrapped it at dinner. The routine comforted me, gave me purpose, gave me a reason to get out of bed on Tuesdays, made me feel needed, useful, like I still mattered to someone. But I see it now, my flaw. After Tom died, I became too dependent on Sarah for family connection. I couldn't say no to her. Saying no might mean she'd stop inviting me to dinner, stop calling, stop needing me. She's all I have left. No siblings, no cousins nearby. Tom's family scattered across the country, my parents both gone. Sarah and those grandkids are my whole world. Every request, every need, every emergency. I said yes, always yes, because saying no might mean being completely alone, and I couldn't bear that. Can't bear that. 3 weeks ago, when Sarah asked for my safe combination, I hesitated, just for a moment. We were sitting in her kitchen after dinner. The kids were watching TV in the living room. She brought it up casually, almost too casually. "Mom, I've been thinking. What if something happened and you needed help? What if you fell? What if there was a fire? I need to know where everything is. Your important papers, your emergency cash, just in case." Something felt off. She'd never asked before. In 5 years, she'd never once asked about the safe, but her reasoning made sense. She's my daughter. I trust her. I've always trusted her. So I wrote the combination on a slip of paper, 6 digits, told her where the emergency folder was, the insurance papers, the will, Tom's letters. She hugged me, thanked me, said it gave her peace of mind knowing she could help if I needed it. I should have listened to that hesitation, should have asked why now, why suddenly after 5 years. But I didn't, because I wanted to be needed. I wanted her to need me. First of every month, I review the safe. Tom's habit that I kept after he died. Count the cash, check the documents, make sure everything's in order. Touch his letters. He wrote me one every anniversary. Started on our first anniversary, kept going for 43 years. 43 letters. The paper is yellowing now, the ink fading. But they still smell faintly like his cologne, Old Spice. He wore it every day, everything in its place, everything under control. That's what I thought. That's what I needed to believe. My neighbor Margaret saw me pull into the driveway that Tuesday night. She lives next door, has for 15 years. We moved to this street the same year, raised our kids together, attended each other's family barbecues, borrowed sugar and eggs across the fence. Her husband died 8 years ago. Cancer. We understand each other's loneliness. Margaret is 70 years old, retired nurse, worked at St. Mary's Hospital for 40 years, pediatrics. She has that direct, no-nonsense way that nurses have. Gets straight to the point, doesn't waste time on small talk when something's wrong. I appreciate that about her, always have. She was getting her mail when I pulled in, saw me get out of the car, still holding the pie, the framed photo. I must have looked strange, upset, shaken. "Helen, you okay?" she called across her yard, started walking toward me. "You look upset. What happened? Dinner get canceled?" I stood there. Couldn't speak for a moment, the words stuck in my throat. "I'm fine," I finally managed. "Just tired, long day." Margaret reached my driveway, looked at me closer, those nurse eyes, assessing, evaluating, missing nothing. "That's your lying face," she said. "Not unkind, just factual. I've known you 15 years. I know when you're lying. What's wrong?" "Nothing, really. I just need to check something inside." She didn't push. Margaret knows when to wait, when to give space, but she squeezed my arm, firm grip, steady, reassuring. "I'm here if you need me," she said. "You know that, day or night, knock on my door." I nodded. Couldn't trust myself to speak. Walked to my front door, unlocked it, Went inside, straight to the bedroom, didn't take off my coat, didn't put down the pie, just walked to the closet, pushed aside Tom's old suits. I still can't donate them. Opened the safe with shaking hands, started counting. I counted the cash 3 times. First count, $28,500. I stopped, recounted. Maybe I'd made a mistake. My hands were shaking. That makes counting difficult. Second count, $28,500. Same number. I laid the bills out on the bed, organized them by denomination like I always do. 50s in one pile, hundreds in another, 20s, 10s. Counted again, slower this time, more carefully. Third count, $28,500. The safe should have $47,000 in it. I keep records, always have. Teacher habit. Every withdrawal, every deposit, logged in a notebook in my desk. I checked the last entry, September 30th. $47,000. Nothing withdrawn since then. Nothing added. Missing. $18,500. I sat on the edge of the bed, stared at the cash spread across the comforter. The numbers didn't make sense, didn't add up. I don't forget things like this. I don't misplace $18,000. That's when I saw it. A calculator in the safe. Not mine. I don't keep a calculator in there. Just cash, documents, Tom's letters. I picked it up, turned it over. Small label on the back. S. Morrison in Sarah's handwriting. The screen was still on. Green digital numbers glowing faintly. The last calculation was visible, 18,500. I pressed the history button. The calculator kept a log, 50 calculations stored. I scrolled through them, all subtractions, all from large numbers. 47,000 minus 8,000. 500 equals 38,500. 38,500 minus 5,000 equals 33,500. 33,500 minus 5,000 equals 28,500. 3 withdrawals. 3 separate amounts. 3 calculations carefully tracked by Sarah's own calculator. Left behind in my safe like evidence she forgot to hide. I sat there holding it. This small piece of plastic. Proof. Not suspicion, not paranoia, proof. My phone rang. Sarah. I stared at her name on the screen. Let it ring once, twice, 3 times. Answered on the 4th. Mom, are you okay? You never missed Tuesday dinner. The kids were so disappointed. Her voice was normal, concerned, loving. Like nothing had happened, like she hadn't spent the evening counting money she'd stolen from me. I'm fine, I said, kept my voice steady. Just tired. I think I'm coming down with something. Do you need me to bring you soup? Medicine? I can come over. No, I'm okay. I just need to rest. Silence on her end. Then, Mom, you're worrying me. You've been acting strange lately, forgetting things. Are you sure you're okay? Maybe we should make an appointment with your doctor, get you checked out. My hands tightened on the phone. I'm not forgetting things, Sarah. I'm not saying you are. I'm just worried. You're getting older. It's normal to have some memory issues. There's no shame in that. My memory is fine. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. Pause. Did you need something from your safe? Is that why you're upset? Did you forget the combination? I almost laughed. Almost. No, I didn't forget the combination. Good. That's good. Because I have it written down if you ever need it. Remember? You gave it to me. For emergencies. I remember. Another pause. Longer this time. Mom, I love you. You know that, right? The kids love you. We're here if you need anything. Anything at all. I know. I should go. I need to rest. Okay. Feel better. Call me tomorrow, okay? Let me know how you're feeling. I hung up. Set the phone down on the bed. Looked at the calculator still in my hand. The cash still spread across the comforter. Maybe I miscounted. Maybe I'd spent it and forgotten. Maybe I was losing my memory like Sarah suggested. That's what the voice in my head whispered. The doubt, the uncertainty, old age, forgetfulness. It happens. But I keep records, meticulous records, bank statements going back 5 years, receipts, logs. I'm 70 years old, not 90. I'm not senile. I'm not confused. I went to my desk, pulled out the financial folder, found the notebook from 2019, the year I'd loaned Mark $12,000 for his business. My handwriting was clear. Loan to Mark Morrison, business emergency, September 15th, 2019, $12,000, to be repaid within 2 years. Never repaid, not a single dollar. I flipped through the notebook, found other entries. Money given to Sarah and Mark over the years, all documented, all with dates, all with purposes, down payment, business license, school tuition. Every amount matched what I remembered. My memory was fine, sharp, accurate. So why was $18,500 missing from my safe? I checked my bank statements next. Online banking, every transaction visible. Scrolled through the last 2 months, no large withdrawals, no cash advances, no transfers, nothing that explained where $18,000 had gone. The only explanation was the one I didn't want to believe, the one staring at me through that kitchen window, Sarah and Mark at the table, counting my money. I stood in the bedroom, the safe still open, the cash still on the bed, the calculator in my hand, and I realized something. The safe combination was the only new variable. 3 weeks ago, I gave it to Sarah. Since then, $18,500 disappeared. I grabbed my daily calendar from the nightstand, the paper kind. I still prefer writing things down. Flipped back through the weeks, found the date I'd given Sarah the combination. October 3rd, a Tuesday. 3 weeks ago exactly. I kept flipping, looking at my Tuesday entries. Garden club every Tuesday morning from 9 to 11, lunch at home. Book club every other Friday, but Tuesday evenings at 7 were always marked family dinner Sarah's. Except 3 Tuesdays weren't marked that way. 3 Tuesdays in the past month had different notes. Sarah canceled, kids sick, on October 10th. Sarah canceled, work emergency, on October 17th. Sarah canceled, Mark's late project, on October 24th. 3 Tuesdays, 3 cancellations, 3 times I was home alone in the evening instead of at Sarah's house. I walked to the kitchen, made coffee, hands still shaking, poured a cup, sat at the table, Tom's empty chair across from me, the calendar open in front of me, 3 Tuesday nights, 3 cancellations. 3 times Sarah had a convenient excuse for why I shouldn't come to dinner. 3 times I was home, alone, unaware. 3 times that matched Sarah's calculator history. 3 subtractions. 3 withdrawals. If I'd gone to dinner those nights, if I'd been at her house like usual, I wouldn't have been here. Wouldn't have noticed. Wouldn't have known. They'd timed it, planned it, made sure I was out of the house, away from my safe, unsuspecting. But last night I'd arrived early, 30 minutes early, and I'd seen them through that kitchen window, seen them counting cash that wasn't theirs, seen the truth. A knock at the back door startled me. Margaret. She didn't wait for an answer, just let herself in like she'd done 1,000 times over 15 years. "You look terrible," she said. Set a Pyrex dish on the counter, tuna casserole. She makes it every Wednesday, always brings me half. "What's going on?" I opened my mouth, closed it, didn't know where to start. Margaret poured herself coffee, sat down at the table, looked at me with those sharp nurse eyes. "Helen, talk to me." I stopped, started over. "I think Sarah took money from my safe." "You think? Or you know?" "I know." I counted. $18,500 is missing, and she has the combination. I gave it to her 3 weeks ago. Margaret didn't look surprised, didn't look shocked. She just nodded slowly. "What are you going to do?" "I don't know. She's my daughter. She's also a thief." The word hung in the air between us. Thief, my daughter, Sarah, the baby I raised, the little girl who used to help me garden, who'd bring me breakfast in bed on Mother's Day. That's Sarah. I need proof, I said, real proof. Not just missing money, not just suspicions. You have proof. The money's gone. She has the combination. The math isn't complicated. She'll say I miscounted, or that I spent it and forgot. She already thinks I'm losing my memory. Said so on the phone tonight. Margaret's expression hardened. She's gaslighting you. She's concerned about me. She's covering her tracks. Margaret leaned forward. Helen, I've seen this before, in my nursing days. Family members steal from elderly parents, then convince them they're confused, forgetful, mentally declining. It's textbook elder abuse. Don't call her that. Call her what, a thief? That's what she is. I didn't answer, couldn't answer, because saying it out loud made it real, made it something I couldn't ignore anymore. Margaret finished her coffee, stood up, squeezed my shoulder. Get proof, document everything, then decide what to do. But Helen? Don't let her convince you you're crazy. You're not. Your memory is fine. I'd tell you if it wasn't. She left through the back door, left me sitting at the kitchen table, the calendar still open, the calculator still on the counter, the realization settling like ice in my chest. I need proof, real proof, and I knew exactly where to look. I remembered the security camera the next morning. Tom installed it 10 years ago, after the Hendersons down the street got broken into. He mounted it in the garage, facing the driveway, connected it to an old DVR system in the den. I'd forgotten about it. Thought it stopped working years ago, but Tom was meticulous about maintenance. Maybe it was still recording. I went to the den, found the DVR behind the television, dusty, unplugged, but when I connected it, the power light came on, green, active. I found the remote, pressed play, static at first, then the driveway appeared on screen, grainy footage, black and white, timestamp in the corner. The camera was working, had been working all along. I rewound to 3 weeks ago, Tuesday, October 10th, the first night Sarah had canceled dinner. Kid's sick, she'd said. I'd stayed home, watched TV, gone to bed early, unaware. I fast-forwarded through the day. 7:15 p.m. A car pulled into my driveway. Sarah's silver Honda. I hit pause, zoomed in. Sarah in the driver's seat, alone. She parked, got out, walked to my front door, used a key, went inside. I pressed play, watched the empty driveway. The timer counted. 23 minutes passed. Sarah came back out, got in her car, drove away, casual, unhurried, like she'd just stopped by to check on something. I rewound to the beginning, watched again, same movements, same timing. Sarah entering my house while I was home, while I was in the living room watching television. She'd come in through the front door. I would have heard it if I'd been paying attention, but I wasn't expecting her, wasn't listening for it. I checked the next Tuesday, October 17th. Work emergency had been her excuse. 7:18 p.m., Sarah's Honda again. This time, Mark was with her. They both got out, both went inside, stayed 27 minutes, left together, the third Tuesday, October 24th. Mark's late project, 7:25 p.m., Sarah's car. Sarah, alone again. Inside for 25 minutes, out, gone. 3 Tuesday nights, 3 visits, each one timed to my book club schedule, each one lasting just long enough to open the safe, count money, take what they wanted, leave. I sat there in the den, remote control in my hand, watching the footage loop. My daughter, walking into my house, into my bedroom, opening my safe, 3 times. The timestamps didn't lie. 7:22 p.m., 7:18 p.m., 7:25 p.m. Neither did the casual way she moved. No hesitation, no guilt, like she had every right, like my home was hers to take from. I pressed play again. Maybe this time it would be different. Maybe I'd see something that explained it. Some reason that made sense. It wasn't different, just the same betrayal, over and over, in black and white. The doorbell rang. I paused the video, walked to the front door, Margaret standing there with coffee. "I saw your lights on early," she said, came inside without waiting, looked at my face. "You found something." I led her to the den, played the footage. She watched in silence. When it ended, she said, "That's your proof. Right there. It's security camera footage from my own house." "So?" "It shows Sarah entering without permission, 3 times, on the exact nights money went missing. That's evidence." "She had a key. I gave her the combination. A lawyer could argue she had permission." "Did you give her permission to take $18,000? "No." "Then it's theft." Margaret pulled out her phone. "My friend Robert Chen is an elder law attorney. He handles cases like this. I'm calling him." "Margaret, wait." "No waiting. You need legal advice now." She dialed, put it on speaker. A man's voice answered, professional, calm. "This is Robert Chen." "Robert, it's Margaret. I'm with my neighbor Helen. We need to talk to you about a potential elder abuse case." Silence. Then, "I can meet this afternoon, 2 o'clock. Can you both come to my office?" I wanted to say no, wanted to hang up, wanted to pretend this wasn't happening. But Margaret was already agreeing, already writing down the address. When she hung up, I said, "I can't afford a lawyer. First consultation is free, and Robert does pro bono work for seniors. He'll help you." I sat back down, looked at the frozen image on the TV screen, Sarah's car in my driveway. "But video alone isn't enough. Any lawyer would say I need more." Margaret nodded. "Then we get more." I spent the rest of the morning gathering evidence, organized it like I used to organize lesson plans, methodical, systematic, complete. I pulled out my cash log, the notebook where I track every dollar in the safe, open to the last entry, September 30th. Balance, $47,000. I cross-referenced it with my bank statements. No withdrawals after that date, no transfers, no cash advances. The money hadn't gone anywhere through my accounts. I created a simple spreadsheet, by hand. Pencil and paper. Starting balance $47,000, ending balance $28,500. Difference $18,500. Time frame October 3rd to October 24th. 3 weeks, 3 Tuesdays. 3 withdrawals that matched the calculator history, matched the security footage dates, matched Sarah's dinner cancellations. The numbers were undeniable. I scrolled through my text history with Sarah. 6 months of messages. Found a pattern I hadn't noticed before. Every family dinner invitation was for Tuesday night, 7 p.m., always Tuesday, always 7. "Mom, let's do dinner Tuesday at 7. September 5th. "Tuesday works best for us. See you at 7. September 12th. "How about Tuesday dinner? 7 p.m. September 19th. I checked my calendar. Book club met every Tuesday, 6:30 to 9 p.m. at the library. Sarah knew this, had known it for years. I'd invited her to join once. She'd said Tuesday nights didn't work for her schedule, but Tuesday nights worked perfectly for stealing from me, because she knew exactly where I'd be, when I'd be gone, how long I'd be away. She'd scheduled my absence, systematically, deliberately, for months before she even had the safe combination, building the pattern, testing the timing, waiting for the right opportunity. The pattern was obvious now, planned, premeditated, not desperate impulse, calculated theft. My safe is an older model, mechanical, not digital, but it has a counter, a small dial inside that tracks how many times the door opens. Tom showed me once, said it was for security, to know if someone accessed it while we were away. I checked the counter. It showed 11 openings in the past month. I pulled out my calendar, marked every time I'd opened it. October 1st, October 8th, October 15th, October 22nd, October 29th, November 1st, November 4th, 7 times. Discrepancy. 4 additional openings, but the calculator showed 3 withdrawals, 3 Tuesday nights on camera, 3 visits. I recounted my calendar entries, realized I'd opened it twice on November 4th, once in the morning to check something, once in the evening to count the cash after I got home from dinner. 3 unaccounted openings, 3 Tuesday night visits, 3 withdrawals. Everything aligned. I photographed it, the screen, the history, every calculation visible. Created a log, wrote out each subtraction, dated them based on the video timestamps. October 10th, 47,000 minus 8,500. October 17th, 38,500 minus 5,000. October 24th, 33,500 minus 5,000. 3 withdrawals, 8,500, 5,000, 5,000. Total, 18,500. Sarah's own device, her handwriting on the label, her calculations documenting the theft. Left behind in my safe like evidence she forgot to hide, or maybe she thought I'd never check, never notice, never count. My doorbell caught Sarah's visits too, Margaret said when I told her about the security camera. Different angle. Shows her walking to your front door. Timestamps match. She pulled up the footage on her phone. Showed me Sarah approaching my door. 3 Tuesday nights. Confirmation from an independent source. I made copies of everything, printed screenshots, organized them into a manila folder, tabs for each type of evidence, security footage on a USB drive, financial records, text messages, safe counter photos, calculator documentation, Ring doorbell backup, everything labeled, everything dated, everything cross-referenced. My teacher's training served me well. Present the material clearly. Support every claim with evidence. Show your work. But as I was printing the bank statements, I made a mistake. Hit print all instead of print selection. 87 pages started coming out. I lunged for the printer, tried to cancel, fumbled with the buttons, knocked my coffee cup over. Brown liquid spread across the desk, soaked some of the papers I'd already organized. I grabbed the folder, held it above the spill, but my hands were shaking. One of the photos slipped out, fell into the coffee. Sarah's face on my driveway, stained brown, ruined. I stood there, coffee dripping onto the floor, printer still churning out pages, photo ruined, and I felt it, the weight, the exhaustion, the impossibility of what I was doing, building a case against my own daughter, documenting her theft, preparing to what? Confront her? Sue her? Have her arrested? This is my daughter, the baby I held, the child I raised, the woman I love. But she stole from me. $18,500, 3 calculated thefts, weeks of planning, lies about sick kids and work emergencies, gaslighting me about my memory, trying to convince me I'm confused, forgetful, incompetent. I cleaned up the coffee, reprinted the photo, finished organizing the folder, because Margaret was right. I needed proof, real proof. And now I had it. At 1:30, Margaret knocked. Ready? I picked up the folder, looked at Tom's photo on the dresser. 43 years of marriage. He'd know what to do. He'd tell me to protect myself, to stand up, to not let anyone take advantage of me, even family, especially family. Ready? I said. We drove to Robert Chen's office in Margaret's car. Neither of us spoke. The folder sat on my lap, heavy with evidence, heavy with everything it meant. This was real now, not suspicion, not doubt, proof, documented, irrefutable. And I didn't know if I was ready for what came next, but I knew one thing. I couldn't go back, couldn't unknow what I knew, couldn't unsee Sarah walking into my house, taking my money, lying to my face. The choice was already made. The moment I counted that cash, the moment I found that calculator, the moment I watched that security footage, there was no going back. Robert Chen's office smelled like old books and green tea. Second floor of a converted house downtown, bookshelves lined the walls. On his desk, a photo faced me, an elderly Asian woman, smiling. His mother, I assumed. Robert was younger than I expected, early 50s, bow tie, kind eyes. He gestured to chairs. Margaret and I sat. Mrs. Patterson, I've reviewed the overview Margaret provided. Let's look at your evidence. I handed him the folder. He studied the screenshots, spreadsheet, timeline, calculator photos, took his time, made notes. When he finished, he looked up. This is financial elder abuse. Clear cut. The documentation is excellent. If you want to pursue this, we can file criminal charges, or civil restitution, or both. My throat tightened. Criminal charges? She's my daughter. That doesn't give her permission to steal $18,500 over 3 separate incidents, premeditated. This isn't a misunderstanding, it's theft. But I gave her the combination for emergencies, not for unauthorized withdrawals. Financial exploitation of an elder is a felony in this state. Robert leaned forward. Mrs. Patterson, what do you want? Not what you think you should want. What do you actually want? What did I want? To go back in time, to unsee what I saw, to unknow what I know. But I couldn't. I want my independence back, I said quietly. I want my money back, and I want to know this won't happen again. Then we need a formal family meeting, documented, with legal terms, settlement or criminal charges, their choice, the grandchildren, or why this needs to stop now, before they're older and witness it or learn from it. I sat in the lawyer's office looking at those papers. 40 years in this town, 38 years raising Sarah, and I realized I didn't know this person anymore. Robert touched the photo on his desk. My mother went through something similar. My uncle borrowed money, never paid it back, then started taking it. She never stopped him because he was family. She died 3 years ago, nearly broke. He looked at me. I became an elder law attorney because of her. Your daughter might hate you for this. She might never forgive you, but at least you'll be safe. At least you'll have your dignity, your independence. That's everything. I remembered Thanksgiving last year, Sarah's dining room, the table full, 14 people. I sat at the head, Tom's chair empty beside me, but surrounded by family, by warmth. Sarah had made turkey. I'd made my mother's stuffing. Emma helped me mix it. After dinner, Sarah kissed the top of my head. Thanks for being here, Mom. We'd looked at old photo albums, Sarah as a baby, me and Tom young, holding her at the hospital, our wedding, 1973. That's Grandma? Emma had said. You were pretty. Everyone had laughed. Warm, easy, family. That was 13 months ago, and now I was sitting in a lawyer's office. With evidence of theft, planning a confrontation. Where was that family now? That warmth? Gone. Mrs. Patterson? Robert's voice pulled me back. Are you okay? No, but I will be. I signed the retainer agreement. Helen M. Patterson. Clear. Decisive. What happens next? I'll draft a letter requesting a formal meeting. Neutral location. We present evidence, we outline options, settlement with full restitution, or criminal charges, 48 hours to respond. And if they don't? We file, police report, district attorney, civil suit. I shook his hand. Thank you, Robert. Margaret drove me home in silence. That evening, I drove to Sarah's house. Her car wasn't there. Mark's truck gone. The house dark. I sat in my car, engine running, then turned it off. Got out. I used my key, the same key she'd used at my house, opened the front door, stepped inside. The house was quiet, empty. I walked to the kitchen, the same kitchen where they'd counted my money. The table was clean now, like nothing had happened. I set the framed Thanksgiving photo on the table, face down, pulled out a pen, wrote on the back, "We need to talk." Formal meeting. My attorney will be in touch. Simple, clear, a line drawn. I walked to the front door, locked it behind me, got in my car, drove home. My hands didn't shake. I felt calm, clear, like waking from a long fog. I thought not rocking the boat kept my family together, but I wasn't keeping us together. I was enabling them to take while I disappeared, while I became smaller, more afraid, less myself. What I thought was generosity was really fear of being alone, and that fear had cost me $18,500, my dignity, my peace. But it stopped now, with that photo on that table, with those papers signed, with Robert's letter. I wasn't an ATM machine, not anymore. I was a person with boundaries, with rights, with the power to say no, even to my own daughter. When I got home, I went to the living room, started taking down photos of Sarah, every family photo that included her, 23 frames from her childhood, her wedding, birthdays, holidays. I put them in a box, carried it to the guest room closet. The walls looked empty, nail holes visible, but I didn't feel sad. I felt lighter. I kept one photo, Tom holding baby Sarah at the hospital, 1982, Sarah 3 hours old, Tom's face full of wonder. That was my daughter once. I don't know if we get that back, but I'll decide later, when she earns it, if she earns it. For now, the walls stay empty, and I stay strong. 3 days after I signed the retainer, Robert called. Sarah's attorney responded. They're requesting a meeting, but Mrs. Patterson, I need to tell you what we found during discovery. Discovery. Legal term for digging into someone's finances. Robert had filed a motion, standard procedure in civil cases. Sarah and Mark had to provide bank records, tax returns, business documents, everything. Mark filed for bankruptcy 6 months ago, Robert said. Chapter 13, business debts, $180,000. I sat down. $180,000. When? April 2023, right before he started borrowing from you, from others. Others? We're still investigating, but the bankruptcy filing lists creditors. Some are family names. Morrison, his parents, his sister. The timeline made sense now. Mark's business collapsed. He filed bankruptcy, couldn't get loans from banks anymore. So he turned to family, to people who trusted him, who wouldn't check credit reports, who'd say yes out of love. There's more, Robert continued. Sarah lost her real estate position 4 months ago. August. The brokerage let her go. She's been working as an independent contractor since. No salary. Commission only. She didn't tell me. No, she didn't tell anyone. According to her tax records, her income dropped 70% last year. 70%. Mortgage payments, car payments, 2 kids in private school. No wonder they were desperate. No wonder they'd turned to my safe. But desperation doesn't excuse theft. Sarah's attorney is proposing a settlement, Robert said. They return the $18,500. You drop all claims. Everyone moves on. What about the rest? The $63,000 I gave them over the years? They're claiming those were gifts, not loans. Without signed promissory notes, it's difficult to prove otherwise. I have records, notebooks, dates, amounts. I know, but legally, unless there was a written agreement at the time, they can argue you gave the money freely. Family generosity, not loans. I gripped the phone tighter. So they get away with taking $63,000? Not necessarily. We can push harder. Full financial discovery, depositions. Make them uncomfortable. Most people don't want that level of scrutiny. What do you recommend? Reject their offer. Tell them we want full restitution, $18,500 plus the historical debt, or we go forward with criminal charges and civil suit. I thought about it, about Sarah's face when she'd counted my money, about the calculator she'd left behind, about 3 Tuesday nights of calculated theft. Reject it, I said. We push harder. 2 days later, Robert called again. His voice had an edge I hadn't heard before. Mrs. Patterson, my investigator found something. Mark didn't just borrow from you. He borrowed from his parents. $35,000. His sister, $22,000. His brother-in-law, $18,000. None of it repaid. Total, including what he took from you, $93,000. I couldn't speak. You're part of a pattern, Robert continued. Systematic family fraud. He's been doing this for 2 years, since the bankruptcy. And Sarah knew. She had to know. How do you know she knew? Bank records showed joint account deposits matching the amounts he borrowed. She signed some of the checks. She was complicit. This wasn't just Mark acting alone. The walls felt close, the kitchen too small. My daughter, taking money from his entire family, lying to everyone, playing the victim while stealing from people who loved her. Mark's mother wants to talk to you, Robert said. Linda Morrison. She's considering joining your case. I gave her your number. She may call. Linda called that afternoon. Helen? Her voice was shaky, older than mine, fragile. Robert Chen gave me your number. I'm Mark's mother. I think our children stole from both of us. I'm sorry, I said. Didn't know what else to say. $35,000. My husband's retirement savings. Mark said it was for payroll, emergency. His employees would lose their jobs. We gave it to him. He promised to pay us back. He told me it was for equipment. Silence. Then, he lied to all of us. Yes. I don't know what to do, Linda said. He's my son, but $35,000, we needed that for medical bills, for... Her voice broke. I'm meeting with my attorney tomorrow, I said. Would you like to come? We could talk. Figure out our options. Together? Yes, together. The next morning, Linda Morrison sat across from me in Robert's office. 72 years old, thin, tired. She wore a rosary around her wrist, kept touching it. Nervous habit. Robert laid out the situation. You're both victims of the same pattern. Mark borrowed large sums from family members, made promises, never repaid. If you both file claims, it strengthens the case, shows systematic fraud, not isolated incidents. Linda looked at her hands. My husband doesn't want to sue, says Mark is our son. Family doesn't sue family. Family also doesn't steal from family, I said quietly. She looked up, met my eyes, nodded slowly. What if we do this together? I asked. What if we present a unified case, both of us demanding restitution? Robert nodded. That could work. Joint mediation. All parties present. The evidence is stronger together. Linda twisted her rosary. What do? We get our money back, I said. Together. She reached across the table, squeezed my hand. We sat there, 2 mothers, betrayed by the same man, connected by the same theft. That evening, my phone buzzed, text from Sarah. Mom, please, this is destroying our family. Yes, I took the money. I was desperate. I plan to pay you back. Can't we work this out? The kids miss you. I miss you. Please. I stared at the message. Read it 3 times. She admitted it. In writing. She took the money. My thumb hovered over the reply button. I wanted to respond. Wanted to say, what? That I forgave her? That we could fix this? That family was more important than money? But that text was calculated too, sent without her lawyer's permission, designed to manipulate me, to make me feel guilty, to get me to drop charges. I called Robert. Don't respond, he said immediately. That's witness tampering. She's trying to get you to settle outside of legal counsel. Document it, screenshot it, send it to me, but don't reply. She admitted she took the money. Via text, without her lawyer present, probably coached. If you respond, it undermines our case, shows you're willing to negotiate outside formal channels. Don't fall for it. I hung up, looked at the text again. The kids miss you. I miss you. Emotional manipulation, using Emma and Jake as leverage, making me the bad guy for protecting myself. I screenshot the message, sent it to Robert, deleted the conversation. The next week brought another development, one I didn't see coming. Robert called, his voice tight, angry. Sarah just filed a countersuit. She's claiming you're mentally incompetent. She's petitioning for guardianship. The room tilted. What? She's arguing that you're experiencing cognitive decline, memory issues, that you gave her the money willingly and don't remember, that you need someone to manage your finances, and she's volunteering. That's not, I know, it's absurd, but we need to take it seriously. She's going to argue that your accusations stem from confusion, dementia, age-related decline. She'll get doctors to testify, family members to corroborate. It's a common defense in elder abuse cases. My hand shook, but I'm not confused. I have records, documentation, the security footage. I know, and we'll prove it. But Mrs. Patterson, we need to build a competency defense, fast, medical evaluation, cognitive testing, character witnesses. We need to prove beyond doubt that you're mentally sharp, that your memory is intact, that you know exactly what happened. This is insane. This is strategy. She's trying to flip the narrative, make you the confused victim, her the concerned daughter trying to protect you. It's calculated, and if we don't respond properly, it could work. I thought about the gaslighting phone call. Are you worried about your memory, Mom? This was the next step. Legal gaslighting, documented, official. What do I need to do? We start building the defense immediately. I'm scheduling a cognitive assessment with a neuropsychologist. This week, if possible. I'll need character witnesses, people who can testify to your mental clarity, your neighbor Margaret, your book club, your bank, anyone who interacts with you regularly. How long do we have? She filed this morning. We have 30 days to respond, but we need to move fast. This changes everything. We're not just fighting for restitution anymore. We're fighting for your independence, your autonomy, your right to control your own life. I hung up, sat in the kitchen. Tom's empty chair across from me, the walls bare where Sarah's photos had hung. She was trying to take everything, not just my money, my mind, my competency, my freedom. And I realized this was war. The mediation room was smaller than I expected. Conference table, 8 chairs, no windows, neutral beige walls, a recording device in the center, everything documented, everything official. Jennifer Walsh, the mediator, arrived first. Early 60s, gray suit, reading glasses on a chain. She shook my hand, firm grip, professional. Mrs. Patterson, I've reviewed the case file. This will be a structured conversation. Everyone gets to speak. But I control the flow. My job is to find resolution. Understand? I nodded. Robert sat beside me. On my other side, Linda Morrison, Mark's mother. She'd asked to attend, to witness, to stand with me. Across the table, 3 empty chairs waited. Sarah arrived with Mark and their attorney. A young man, mid-30s, expensive suit, briefcase. He introduced himself. I didn't catch his name. Didn't care. Sarah wouldn't look at me. Stared at the table. Mark's jaw was tight. Defensive posture, arms crossed. Jennifer sat at the head. We're here to discuss allegations of financial elder abuse. Mrs. Patterson has presented evidence of unauthorized withdrawals from her safe, totaling $18,500, taken over 3 separate occasions. We're here to determine resolution. Mr. Chen, you may present. Robert opened the manila folder, slid copies of documents across the table, security camera screenshots, financial spreadsheets, text message timeline, calculator photos. The evidence is comprehensive, Robert said. Security footage shows Mrs. Patterson's daughter, Sarah Morrison, entering her home on 3 Tuesday evenings, October 10th, 17th, and 24th. Each time, Sarah accessed Mrs. Patterson's safe, using a combination given in good faith for emergency purposes only. Mrs. Patterson discovered $18,500 missing. Her financial records are meticulous, no withdrawals from her accounts during this period. The only explanation is physical removal from the safe. Sarah's attorney leaned forward. My client disputes the characterization. Mrs. Patterson gave Sarah the combination voluntarily. There was unauthorized withdrawal, Robert countered. Mrs. Patterson never gave permission to take money. The safe combination was provided for document access in emergencies, not for cash removal. Jennifer raised her hand. Let's review the evidence. I'd like to see the security footage. Robert connected his laptop to the monitor on the wall. Press play. The driveway appeared. Grainy. 7:15 p.m. October 10th. Sarah's silver Honda pulling in, Sarah getting out, walking to the front door, using a key, going inside. The timer counted. 23 minutes, Sarah coming back out, getting in her car, driving away. The footage continued. October 17th. Sarah and Mark together, both entering. 27 minutes. Both leaving. October 24th. Sarah alone. 25 minutes. I watch Sarah watch herself, her face pale, her hands clasped tight on the table. The pattern is clear, Robert said. 3 Tuesday nights, each corresponding to a withdrawal recorded on this calculator. He held up the photo of Sarah's calculator. The calculator Mrs. Patterson found in her safe, with Sarah's name on it, showing 3 calculations, $18,500 total. Sarah's attorney shuffled papers. Mrs. Patterson's daughter was concerned about her mother's mental state. The guardianship petition we filed has been withdrawn, Jennifer interrupted. As of this morning, correct? The attorney paused. Yes, we withdrew the petition. Why? Jennifer asked. Due to new information. Robert smiled slightly. Because Mrs. Patterson underwent cognitive testing, scored in the 98th percentile for her age group, perfect memory recall. No signs of decline. The guardianship claim was baseless. Jennifer made a note. Let's hear from the professional witnesses. Mr. Chen, you have testimonies. Yes, first, Tom Chen, Mrs. Patterson's financial advisor and CPA for 15 years. No relation to me. Robert played a recorded video testimony. Tom Chen appeared on screen, 60-something, Asian man, glasses, professional background. I've managed Helen Patterson's finances since 2010. She's one of the most organized clients I've ever had. Meticulous records, every transaction logged. I reviewed her accounts after she reported the theft. The $18,500 discrepancy is real. I verified all her accounts. No withdrawals, no transfers, no cash advances. The money was physically removed from her safe. Helen's mental clarity is exceptional. She's sharper than most 40-year-olds I work with. The accusation of cognitive decline is absurd. The video ended. Jennifer nodded. Next witness? Margaret Chen, Mrs. Patterson's neighbor for 15 years. Also, no relation to me. Margaret appeared on screen, sitting in her living room. Direct. No nonsense. I've lived next door to Helen for 15 years. We have coffee 3 times a week. I'm a retired nurse. I know cognitive decline when I see it. Helen has none. She's sharp, organized, remembers everything. Details from conversations months ago. The suggestion that she's confused or forgetful is ridiculous. I'd tell her if I saw signs. I haven't seen any. Jennifer made another note. Any other witnesses? Written testimony from Dr. Richard Walsh, Mrs. Patterson's physician, confirming she's in excellent cognitive health, and a statement from Linda Chen, president of the book club Mrs. Patterson attends, also confirming mental acuity. Jennifer looked at Sarah's attorney. Do you wish to challenge these testimonies? He shook his head. No. Then we move to the central question. Mrs. Morrison, did you take $18,500 from your mother's safe without explicit permission? Silence. Long. Heavy. Sarah's voice came out small. Yes. And did you have permission to take this money? No, but I was going to pay it back. I was desperate. Mark's business failed. I lost my job. The mortgage was behind. The kids' school tuition was due. I didn't know what else to do. You could have asked, I said. My first word since the mediation started. Quiet. Firm. Sarah looked up. Met my eyes. I was ashamed. You'd already given us so much. $63,000 over the years. I couldn't ask for more. So you took it instead. I thought I could replace it before you noticed. Get a commission. Pay it back. You'd never know. But I did notice, and you tried to convince me I was losing my mind. Sarah's face crumpled. Mom, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know I messed up. Her voice broke. Mark put his hand on her arm. Sarah, don't... She pulled away. Don't what? Don't tell the truth? I did this. Not you, me. I asked for the combination. I went into her house. I took the money. I was with you once, because I asked you to be. Sarah turned to me. Mom, this is my fault. I'm the one who broke your trust. I'm the one who... She stopped. Couldn't continue. Jennifer let the silence sit. Then, Mrs. Morrison, you understand this is financial elder abuse? A felony in this state? Sarah nodded, tears on her face. Mr. Chen, your client's terms? Robert slid a document across the table. Restitution agreement. $18,500 returned within 30 days, plus $500 per month for 24 months. Total $30,500, covering the recent theft plus a portion of the historical debt. And if my clients refuse, Sarah's attorney asked, we file criminal charges, financial exploitation of an elder, police investigation, district attorney involvement, court proceedings, public record. That would destroy their family, their reputation. The children should know their parents are thieves, I said. Louder now, stronger. That their mother stole from their grandmother? Maybe they should learn that lesson now, before they grow up thinking it's acceptable. Linda spoke for the first time. Quiet. Sad. I'm filing a similar claim for the $35,000 Mark took from us. If you settle with Helen, you settle with me, or we both prosecute. Mark's face went white. Mom, don't, just don't. Linda's voice shook. You're my son, but you stole from me, from your father, from your own mother. I can't. She stopped, composed herself. We're both doing this, together. Jennifer looked at Sarah and Mark. You have a choice. Sign the restitution agreement. Make the payments or face criminal charges from both victims. Multiple counts, multiple prosecutors. Your decision. Sarah's attorney leaned close, whispered to them. I couldn't hear the words, but I saw Sarah nod. Mark closed his eyes. We'll sign, Sarah's attorney said. Jennifer slid the document to them. 2 copies. Sarah signed first, hand shaking, then Mark. Their attorney witnessed. Jennifer passed copies to Robert, to Linda's attorney, everything documented. The terms are binding, Jennifer said. First payment of $18,500 due November 30th, 30 days from today. After that, $500 per month for 24 months. Beginning January 1st. Miss a payment. Immediate legal action. Understood? They nodded. Mrs. Morrison, Mr. Morrison, do you have anything you'd like to say? Sarah looked at me, eyes red. Mom, I know sorry isn't enough. I know I destroyed everything. But I do love you. The kids love you. I hope someday... She couldn't finish. I looked at her. This woman who'd stolen from me, lied to me, tried to have me declared incompetent, my daughter, the baby I'd raised. I know you were desperate, I said. I understand that. But you could have asked. You chose to steal instead. You chose to look me in the eye at family dinner while planning to rob me. That's what I can't forgive. Not the money, the choice. When the mediator read the settlement terms, I didn't feel triumphant, just tired, relieved maybe, but mostly tired. The kind of tired sleep doesn't fix. We left the mediation room separately, Sarah and Mark first, their attorney guiding them out, then Linda, then Robert and me. In the parking lot, Margaret was waiting. She'd driven me, hugged me when I came out. It's over, I said. No, it's beginning. The real work starts now, making sure they pay, making sure you're safe. But Helen, you did it. You stood up. You protected yourself. I got in the car, buckled my seatbelt, looked back at the building, the mediation office. the place where everything changed. Sarah and Mark were getting into their car across the lot. I saw Mark say something. Sarah shake her head. Argue. Even from here, the strain was visible. They'd sign the agreement, they'd pay the money, but their marriage might not survive what I'd done, what they'd done to themselves. I didn't know how I felt about that. Sad, maybe, or just empty. The fight was over. The battle won, but the cost was everything. As we drove away, I thought about the Thanksgiving photo, the one I'd left on Sarah's table, the one that had been on the mediation table today, sitting there between us, a reminder of what we'd been, what we'd lost. Family, gone. The first payment arrived on day 28. I'd been checking the mail obsessively. November 30th was the deadline, 30 days from the mediation. Every morning I'd walk to the mailbox. Nothing. Then, 2 days before deadline, a certified letter, cashier's check, $18,500, made out to Helen M. Patterson. I drove to the bank, deposited it, watched the teller process it, watched my account balance update, $47,000 again, the number I'd had before Sarah took it. But it didn't feel like winning. It felt like ending, like closing a door I'd never wanted to open. The restitution agreement was filed with the court, legally binding, public record. Anyone could look it up and see what Sarah and Mark had done. The no-contact order was part of the settlement. They couldn't contact me during the 24-month repayment period. No calls, no texts, no visits. If they violated it, immediate criminal charges. The grandkids could contact me if they wanted. Emma and Jake had my email, my phone number, but their parents would have to allow it. 2 weeks since the mediation. Silence. I changed my locks. All of them. Front door, back door, garage. Sarah's key didn't work anymore. I changed the safe combination, moved it to a different closet, installed a new security system, cameras, motion sensors, alarms. Sarah and Mark sold their boat, the ATV, Mark's truck. Downgraded the kids from private school to public. Mark took a second job, night shift at a warehouse. Sarah was working weekends, retail at a home goods store. I heard this from Margaret. Small town. Word travels. They were paying. In money, in lifestyle, in reputation. Margaret came over one morning, 3 weeks after the mediation, brought coffee. We sat at my kitchen table. You did the right thing, she said. Then why does it feel so awful? Because doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it was necessary. She paused, looked at her coffee. I never told you this. My sister did something similar to our mother 20 years ago. I looked up. What happened? Mom was in her 70s, living alone. My sister Linda borrowed money, a lot, said she was starting a business. Mom gave her everything she'd saved. Did she pay it back? No, the business failed. Linda moved to Arizona, stopped calling. Mom died 3 years later, broke. Linda didn't even come to the funeral. Margaret's hand covered mine, firm grip. I didn't stop it. I knew it was happening, but I didn't want to cause family drama. So I stayed quiet, and Mom died with nothing. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. You stopped them, Helen. You protected yourself. I wish my mother had done the same. She squeezed my hand. What you did took courage. I met with Robert the next day. Final consultation. The payment cleared, I said. Good. Monthly payments start January 1st. $500, due the 1st of every month. If they miss one, call me immediately. Robert looked at the photo on his desk. His mother. She died 3 years ago, he said quietly. My uncle took almost everything. We didn't find out until after she passed. Too late to prosecute. I'm sorry. That's why I do this work. Every case I win, I think about her. He slid his card across. Your case has already helped 3 other clients. They saw what you did. They found courage to come forward. Linda called that afternoon, Mark's mother. Mark called me yesterday, she said, first time since the settlement. He asked if I'd forgive him. What did you say? I told him forgiveness isn't free. It's earned, day by day, payment by payment. He has to show me he's changed, not just tell me. How did he respond? He cried, then he hung up. Pause. But Helen, that's the first honest emotion I've seen from him in 5 years. Maybe there's still someone in there worth saving. Sarah's letter arrived 3 weeks after the settlement. Handwritten, forwarded through the attorneys. Mom, I know you don't want to hear from me. I'm writing anyway. I messed up, badly. Not just the money, everything. I took advantage of your love. I was desperate, but that's not an excuse. I'm sorry. The kids ask about you every day. I don't know what to tell them. I hope someday you can forgive me. I don't expect it now. Maybe not ever. But I needed you to know. I'm sorry. I read it 3 times, sat at the kitchen table with the letter in front of me. I got out my journal, opened to a blank page, started writing. I read your letter. I believe you're sorry. But sorry doesn't undo what you did. Sorry doesn't give me back the trust. You stole more than money. You stole the future I thought we'd have, the grandmother I thought I'd be. Maybe someday I'll forgive you, but that day isn't today. You have to earn your way back, if that's even possible. I didn't send it, kept it in my journal, private, just for me. I met with an estate attorney the next week, made changes, protected myself, protected the grandkids. Sarah was still in my will, but now the money went into a trust, distributed when Emma and Jake turned 25, not to Sarah directly. A bank would manage it, an independent trustee, not family. My power of attorney changed, from Sarah to the law firm, professional, safe. If I died tomorrow, Sarah couldn't touch the money, couldn't make medical decisions for me. Emma and Jake would be taken care of, but through systems, through boundaries that couldn't be crossed. I signed the papers, Helen M. Patterson, done. That weekend, Margaret came over to help me plant roses. 3 new bushes in the front garden, Tom's favorite, deep red. Something new, I said. Something mine. Something nobody can take. We worked together, hands in the soil. The November air was cold, but the sun was out. When we finished, we stood back. The 3 bushes looked small, but they'd grow. In spring, they'd bloom. Tom would be proud of you, Margaret said. I think so, too. I reorganized the safe that night, moved Tom's letters to the top, where they should have always been, cash underneath, new combination locked in the attorney's vault, not written down anywhere else, not given to anyone. My fingers traced the dial, different numbers now, safer, mine again. Tuesday night. Used to be family dinner at Sarah's house. Now it was just Tuesday, empty. I made pot roast, for one, set one place at the table. Tom's chair empty, Sarah's chair empty. But the house was quiet, my peace. I ate slowly. The silence wasn't lonely, it was peaceful. Friday afternoon, I drove past Sarah's house, on purpose, tested myself. Her car in the driveway, Mark's van, the kids' bikes in the yard, life continuing without me. I didn't slow down, didn't stop, just kept driving. Watched the house get smaller in my rearview mirror. It hurt, but less than I expected. I started a new photo album, bought it at the store. Dark green leather. I wrote on the first page, new chapter. The first photo went in, me and Margaret, in the garden, planting roses. Both of us smiling, dirt on our hands. I wrote underneath, family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's who stays. 6 months later, Emma sent me an email, through her school account. Grandma, I'm 12 now. Mom can't stop me from writing you. I miss you. I don't understand everything that happened, but I love you. Can we talk? Please? Emma. I stared at the message for an hour, cried. For the first time in months, not from sadness, from hope. I wrote back, I love you too, sweetheart. Yes, we can talk, but let's wait a little longer, until things are more settled. I'll be here when you're ready, I promise. Love, Grandma. Maybe not everything was lost. 12 months later, May 2025. 24 payments received, all on time. 18,500 returned, plus 6,000 in monthly installments. 12 more months remain. The no contact order lifted. Now we have limited contact. Monthly emails from Sarah. Payment sent. Kids are well. I respond briefly. Thank you. The boundary holds. No family dinners, no visits. The distance is permanent. Emma emails weekly. She's 13. Tells me about school. Horse riding lessons. We're rebuilding. Slowly. Through screens. Jake sends voice messages. He's 10. Talks about soccer. Grandma, when can I see you? Soon, I tell him, when things are more settled. I don't know if that's true, but I want it to be. Coffee with Margaret 3 mornings a week. Book club Fridays. Garden club Tuesday mornings. I reclaim Tuesday from family dinner. These women are my anchors. Steadily. Margaret brings casseroles. I bring pie. We exist together. That's enough. 70 years old next month. Living alone, independent, safe. My money is mine. My home is mine. My life is mine again. Margaret asked once, was it worth it, losing Sarah? I didn't lose Sarah, I said. She lost me, and I found myself. I volunteer at the senior center now. Every Wednesday, I give presentations. Protecting yourself from financial elder abuse. I share my story, the pattern, the warning signs. Document everything. Trust your instincts. I didn't. I wish I had. The audiences are mostly women my age. Some cry, some nod, some whisper their own stories after. What did you do? They ask. I fought back, I say. And you can too. Robert Chen uses my case as a model. Linda Morrison joins my presentations sometimes. 2 mothers who protected themselves. After one session, a woman approached, 75, grabbed my hand. My son has been asking about my bank passwords. I was going to give them, but after hearing you, she stopped. I'm going to say no. Good, I said. Trust your instincts. Maybe this is the point. Not the money I got back, but the people I helped protect. Spring came early. The roses bloomed in April. Tom's roses. The ones Margaret helped me plant. Deep red, full blooms, growing strong. I sit on the porch some mornings. Photo album on my lap. New chapter, year 2. The photos inside, me with Margaret, book club, garden club, senior center, me alone in my garden, smiling. Not every family photo needs family in it. Margaret sits beside me one morning. Any regrets? She asks. Every day. But not about what I did, about what I didn't see sooner. Do you think you'll forgive her? People ask me that. I don't know yet. Forgiveness isn't something you decide. It happens. Or it doesn't. What do you know? I know I'm okay. I'm safe. My money is mine. My home is mine. I lost family dinners, but I gained my dignity, my independence. Some days I still can't believe it happened, my own daughter. But I'm here. I'm standing. And nobody is going to take advantage of me again. If someone you love is stealing from you, love them enough to stop them. Because if you don't, they'll take everything. What would you have done? Would you have prosecuted, forgiven, let it go? I chose accountability. It cost me my daughter, at least for now, but it saved my independence. If you're going through something similar, know this: you're not alone. Elder abuse is real, and you have the right to protect yourself, even when it's family, especially when it's family. Document everything. Trust your instincts. Get professional help. Let me know in the comments. Was I too harsh? Should I have just forgiven? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm 70 years old next month. I live alone. I'm okay with that, because alone is better than stolen from. The morning sun hits the roses. Margaret finishes her coffee, stands. Same time tomorrow? She asks. Same time tomorrow, I say. She walks to her house. I watch her go. Look at the photo album, at this new life, this new chapter. It's not the chapter I planned, but it's mine, and that's enough. I close the album, go inside, start my day, independent, safe, forward.